Hey everybody, I am Grosless today. AJ's behind the camera.
Hello.
You're going to see a few other people here in a minute. We're here to talk about the third story in Stephen King's You Like It Darker collection, which is Willie the Weirdo. And I'm seeing myself out. You'll hear me talk.
Alright, we're gonna turn to the grandmother and to Evie,
The Doctor.
the doctor. Alright,
Willie the Weirdo.
go.
Do you want to go first?
This story was fascinating to me, obviously, because of all the grandfather moments, again, which I really liked, and the fact that the kid's a weirdo, because even though I don't want to admit to a lot of this stuff, I collected some of this stuff too when I was probably younger than him, like dead crows and snakeskins and fingernails. The prize of my collection was a dead possum arm. But I kind of get it, but it makes me wonder about Steve, because he writes all these weird stories about weird kids, but yet they end up being halfway decent kids. So maybe he's always looking for the good and stuff. So I had read this story 4 times because I kept looking for something I was missing. But I did enjoy the grandfather, the way Willie talked to his grandfather when everyone else treated him like he was already dead. So, next.
Well, to talk about the collecting of dead things and how obviously Willie was very obsessed with death. When I was 10-ish, 9 or 10, there was this girl that lived close, and I don't know what they call them now. Not them. But she was mentally challenged. Is that PC? I don't even know. It's like so hard you can't say anything.
Just say what we don't try to be mentally, or we don't try to be PC on this channel.
Right.
I'm
But
not
anyways,
ticking all those boxes.
Yeah. So she was really obsessed with grasshoppers.
Oh.
And she liked them, and she would put them in her pockets. So they would give me her clothes, and I would go put them on and put my hands in the pockets, and there'd be like dead grasshoppers in there. I don't like bugs. I don't like dead bugs. So it was really hard for me. But kind of made me think of that. Reminded me.
Who else was grossed out when the grandpa pulled a long string of food out of his teeth and
All of us.
they fed it to the dead fireflies?
Yeah, that was gross.
It
Awful.
sounded like leaves rattling in the jar.
Poor
Yeah.
fireflies.
He goes into detail about his long, crusty yellow nails picking at his few teeth that he
Yeah.
has.
I was like,
That was
man,
just
come
great.
on.
Just great.
This is...
I'm very happy that I wasn't eating
yeah.
while I read this, because
Yeah.
usually I'll make myself like a sandwich or something and then I'll read. Very happy I didn't do that today.
Now, again, I'm not really firing as great as I could be. Did I didn't see a single connection in this story.
I might have.
I did not.
Maybe the breast thing again. I mean,
Yeah.
Roxy was getting breasts and proud of them until Willie stared at them. That took me back a couple of stories. Like
Right.
maybe Carrie
Steve-
or...
Steve's got a problem with
He's got a
with young
boob
boobs.
thing.
Well, this Roxy's a snot,
Yeah, she stinks.
which he writes. He's good at writing snotty little.
By the way, I want
Holy
to point
kids.
out on camera another channel, Kevin Toll, on Kevin Toll Reads, told you, AJ, good job on finding the connections where I failed.
Aw,
Mhm.
thanks, Kevin.
So that's pretty cool.
But and talk about psychopath tendencies. If she has a child like Willie, which she may not have children anyways, she's gonna drive him out into the woods and abandon the child because if he's weird,
Uh-huh.
who's
Yeah.
a psychopath?
Yeah, like who's the true crazy person in this story?
Yeah.
I mean, Willie shows care for his grandfather.
Right.
He does.
And he's actually, I mean, he's fascinated by death, but he's not causing it.
No, he just.
Okay,
Right.
maybe indirectly with the fireflies, but like with the mole, he wasn't like torturing the body or something. He just
Right.
found a dead mole and wanted to see it go in the sewer.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
I
that
mean-
was
He's
him.
more curious than anything, not
Yeah.
like obsessed.
I mean,
Maybe
it seems
it's-
like the daughter's kind of and the mom.
The mom,
And
yeah.
how weird, this thing was written kind of odd too, okay? Don't call him that, mother said. She was Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Father said blah, 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 blah. He was Richard. Grandfather was James.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was weird, yes.
Okay. I did got a little hitch in your get along. I liked that old saying showing up.
Uh-huh.
I
that
liked
was
the way
cute.
that Grandpa talked. He reminded me of my grandpa. The way he talked.
It was kind of neat.
Though I had no idea what was going on when he's asking him about Independence Day and
Yeah.
the battles. Clearly, the story is modern day, and there's no way the grandpa would be alive for that stuff. And then he started talking about Cleopatra.
Yeah.
And-
All right. Time for the epiphany.
Mm.
Okay.
I had an epiphany right as I went to sleep. I think the grandpa did see all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I do too.
I
I do
think he's
too.
immortal.
Mm-hmm.
He just needs somebody there when his current husk is dying.
Right.
So he was there.
Yep.
In all them places. He just when he's dying, maybe he was the flag boy,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe he was all that stuff. He just because you want death? Here you go. And then he's in Willie's body.
I do too. That's exactly what
Mhm.
I thought.
And where did that come from?
From the
It's from something else.
A Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
The Twilight Zone with the teacher.
I would say it almost reminded me of the True Knot too, because they take in
Mhm.
people's
Rose.
souls.
Right.
Reminded me of Desperation.
Oh, see?
Tack.
Mm-hmm.
See, I mean, so that could be a connection, kind of.
Mhm.
Maybe the grandpa's like a creature, like Rose or Pennywise or
Mhm. Yep.
Tack, or
Right, and we did have a sewer.
we did have a
I
sewer.
wrote that
That's
down
true.
for it. Yes.
And a few bullies, like usual.
Yep,
And
yep.
he writes the bullies, and the snot's really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the mom and dad, they just seem really oblivious about anything. Like, oh, he's in remedial classes. Do they not? They're just kind of like glossing over that Willie is different,
Mhm.
you know? Well, just let's pretend it's not there.
But then, did you catch that? Maybe he's not.
Right.
He just doesn't try, because he's thinking and observing.
Right.
And I know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't give two craps about school,
Yeah.
And I ended up in some. Well, when I was in school, it was called special ed.
Right.
I don't know if that's PC anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but
We're gonna.
we're gonna get canceled. But no, we're not, because a lot of the people that watch us are of my generation,
Right.
and they know that that's what it was called, and we're not afraid of our history.
No.
And that's not directed at anybody I'm upset with the world, everybody, sorry. But, I was in those classes.
Mm-hmm.
But I would, throw a dart in the dark at saying I'm at least relatively intelligent.
Right.
And I'm not one of those psychopaths.
Nope.
Maybe a little, but as the doctor just outed me to all 115 of you. But yeah, so I'm just thinking that maybe this poor kid just had the wrong family,
Right. Exactly.
and then he never has a chance to grow up, because the grandpa's like a soul vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the grandpa sees what the parents are, which is why he barely talks to them, because they're just little, going through every day with their heads up in the clouds, not seeing what
Yeah.
life is.
And this evil daughter,
Yeah.
I bet he probably wishes he could have taken her
Right.
instead of the one that was nice to him. But it
Well-
seems like he doesn't have a whole lot of actual feeling.
I feel like the grandpa picked who he wants to be with. That's where he's gonna do the best. And I do agree that I feel like he did see all that stuff. That
Mhm.
he's an old soul.
Very.
That just keeps moving on.
Mm-hmm.
To the next to the next thing.
Vessel.
Um,
I liked it.
so that kind of means that he's like his own ancestor and descendant
Right?
all at the same time. That's kind of neat,
Mhm.
especially for our family tree addict over here.
Right. It was hard reading, like, the condition that Grandpa was in.
Mm.
And the fact that, you know, he was out at the table with dinner, and then he got sicker and sicker, and he's just in bed, and, you know, they're talking about pureed foods, and then they're not talking about feeding him at all. But the pills are good, unless he coughs,
Right.
which I know what that means, but...
And the Sharon, the mother,
the mother.
I think that there was a little bit of care there because maybe not from the dad or the father,
Yeah.
because he just kind of wanted to build his birdhouses
Mm-hmm.
and be left alone. But the mother, if the camera shakes, we've got a cat rubbing the leg. And the pets are about to take over.
Mhm.
Hasn't happened in a little while. But the mother insisted on being the one to do the diapers,
Yes.
Yeah.
even though Willie offered. So that was okay, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely, and when she's, you know, crying, he's going to the hospital. I don't care, you know. She has, you know, wants some dignity for him.
Yeah,
And the fact that no, that's a lot to take care of someone that's dying.
right. And I also think that part of the epiphany, okay, which kind of fits the true not thing, whoever said that.
Mm.
Oh, come here. Come on. Is that when the grandpa got sick, he didn't last nowhere near as long as the doctors even suggested.
Right.
He just went straight downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And that was interesting. I did. So maybe maybe as he goes, his, I guess, immune system or maybe deep immune system, when it comes to diseases, not just getting sick,
Mhm.
gets weaker and weaker.
Mhm.
Like maybe it's like a copy of a copy of a copy.
Right.
It gets worse as you go. Because, I mean, he was talking about how he was actually there at what was the battle? Gettysburg.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're talking about COVID hitting,
Right.
and I just got us canceled because I said COVID.
Oh.
COVID.
We're not allowed to talk about COVID now?
You can't say pandemic. You can't say COVID. You just
Oh.
have to say when the world went crazy, or give it some nickname. I'm not playing the game. I don't care if I'm monetized ever.
Mm.
Or Dad, you could always say handy.
I will never do that. But anyway, I also kind of liked how he kind of, I mean, it's about time that he started writing about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that he worked in the start of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And how the doctor was like, if you leave him here, because of the way the hospitals are, he's going to die in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Take him home. That kind of tells you how Steve felt about that whole cluster bang thing.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Emily, what else do you got? I'm sorry. Dot?
Mm.
Yeah, see, they know your name, but she likes to be called Evelyn or the daughter. It's, I mean, after 300 videos, which is what we're coming up on, bound to make mistakes.
Right.
Beatings will continue until morale improves.
Well, apparently I asked somebody yesterday at the church if they were coming to church 5 times today and did not remember asking them once. So...
Mm.
And I had already asked her a couple times too, so. She's like, I'm gonna stay away from those people.
Must be the COVID brains.
Mm. Is this a real book, by the way? A day no pigs would die.
I don't know. I was
I'll look it
wondering
up
that.
while the doctor is talking.
Okay,
What's it called? A day no pigs.
would die.
Okay, yeah, I'll look it up.
Okay.
I was really grossed out by this. I know I said that, but I didn't really like it. At all. It just wasn't my type of story, I guess.
And that's fine. I mean, every story's not for every person. So, was there things about it that you did like?
Like you said, the family tree aspect, I guess. I get really sensitive about old people though, and it makes me sad when they die, so.
Well, maybe you don't get sad because it seems like he's not really a person.
Yeah.
He's like I said, he's like a vampire of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
A mortal vampire in his body, but his consciousness or whatever makes him continues. Now think about this thing here. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like tangenting here. How awesome would it be? Okay, every one of us has had this thought. Maybe not the Dot, because she's still pretty young, but the rest of us as we get older, and I know there's people out there that are watching, that might watch. Think about how amazing it would be to take your brain and all of your memories and everything you know that makes you you and put it into like a 10-year-old body and start over without forgetting everything, and then just being able to grow up again and not be able to make those same mistakes. That would be so cool.
I don't think I'd want that responsibility.
It is a big responsibility, but it would be so nice to not be in pain anymore, or not have an eating disorder, or not a disorder, allergies.
Maybe once.
Yeah,
I would
not
like to
forever.
go back and do it again. But
No, not back and do it again.
I mean,
Like you grabbed some 10-year-old at the craft fair yesterday, and
right.
right, and then you get to walk around like that kid with the ice cream.
Right.
Zoop! And then you get to start over, but you don't have the kid brain.
Right. No, I get it. I maybe once, but I wouldn't want to go through it again and again and again.
No, once would be great though.
Yeah.
That would be neat. I wouldn't want to live forever. I don't think that's what it's cracked up to be. And really, really just one life is our gift, I guess. But
Yes.
Well, if you lived forever, what will you do in like 200 million years when the sun explodes?
yeah,
Die.
no, you don't die. Your consciousness or whatever keeps you immortal just floats through space, disembodied with nothing to do and nowhere to go, until you can manage to latch on to a new body.
Right. Well, I mean, and obviously this isn't real, so.
No, it's fun to talk about.
It is fun to talk about. I agree.
So there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You are perfectly fine to keep the opinion that you didn't like it at all,
Mm-hmm.
but when you rate it, keep in mind how thought-provoking it is, and how we're having an actual interesting discussion that you're a part of.
Okay.
Okay, about the implications, because that's what this story just did. It's making us think.
Yes, we're also at 11 minutes left, so we're at 29 or 19 minutes.
Gee whiz, we were okay. Well, Grosmother, you got anything else? We're gonna.
I did have a couple questions.
Okay.
I thought, okay, if nobody in his family is worthy, does he look for outsiders?
That's an interesting thought. He must.
He must because
He's not just gonna die.
I hate that book I told you that when we talked about our favorite books and I picked Rhea. That's what that is about.
Okay.
That is what that is about. And sure enough, after 5 or 6 lifetimes, there are questions. Like in the Twilight Zone, the guy has questions and he doesn't like it anymore, so he lets the old man kill him. You remember that one? He was in that. I wondered about this.
I
'cause
vividly
this is
remember
close.
that.
Yeah, where he shoots him in the library.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then if you remember that other Twilight Zone where the guy makes a deal with the devil, and he's like, I just want to live forever. I want to be
Mhm.
immortal.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps like jumping in front of buses and
Mm-hmm.
jumping off of stuff, and then he kills his wife, and he's like, I'm gonna try the electric chair, but they just put him in jail for the rest of.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man, I'm gonna sit here forever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's not what it's cracked up to be.
No, it isn't.
I mean, living forever. I honestly, and this might stir some shakes out there. Hopefully, I don't lose anybody, but I don't want to live forever in the current world.
Mm-mm.
I hate the current time. There's so much milquetoast thought processes out here, and I'm done. I would rather, if I was this soul vampire, I would rather just let the cancer and COVID take me instead of living through what we're living through right now.
I agree.
Anyway, anything else?
You go back to this adopted thing. The
Mhm.
dad was adopted. So maybe there's something with that too.
I didn't think about that.
Well,
They're
see-
not blood.
Well, the thing that makes it interesting is, ooh, no, because they weren't adopting in Cleopatra times. Whose dad is he?
Mm-hmm. Whose dad is he?
Because
Right.
they kind of hint that it might be the paternal grandpa,
Mm-hmm.
but and they hint hard at that, right?
Yeah, like that's basically stated that it's paternal.
Well, it's not stated, but it's hinted at,
Hinted, yes.
very strongly.
Mm-hmm.
But there's enough left open that it could be. But it's probably so. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There are some questions, but
Yeah.
those are not going to be answered.
No.
Well, that's why we like it, really.
Mm-hmm. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. Next week, it might be 2 weeks because it's a bigger story, and AJ reads kind of slow and works.
Okay.
So, we might, but it's Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream. So that's the next story we'll talk about.
Okay.
But to finish up today, Mom.
Oh, you marking them down? I was going to send them.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, you're good.
Rate it out of 10.
A 9.
9. Okay. Daughter.
5.
AJ.
8.5.
And Garage. Shall give it a. I mean, I like the ending. I like what it implies. That's really the only part of it I really did like. So I'm gonna go 6.67.
Oh, not a 7. Do a 6.
All
No.
No,
I
but
don't want a 6.
but yeah. So that was Willie the Weirdo. I've been Graz.
Bye. Oh, I'm the daughter. Or
Frostmutter says good night.
AJ and
Logan.
Aha, snoring.
so keep going.
So Logan's snoring, and we will see all of you down the road.
reading more.
Bye.